Welcome to this Go Vols 24/7 No-Huddle. I'm Patrick Brown here with Ryan Callahan on Tennessee's campus, and we are 2 days away from Tennessee taking on Georgia on Saturday at Neyland Stadium and a 3:30 kickoff on ABC. And this is our preview edition of the No-Huddle, Ryan. And we're just going to keep it simple this week. And 3 keys to this game for Tennessee. They've lost 8 in a row in this series. Trying to get over the hump. This would be a huge early season win for a lot of reasons. But what does Tennessee need to do to get this win on Saturday?
Oh, for starters, I think you got to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. You know, Tennessee's kind of gotten manhandled up front offensively in a lot of these matchups. They kind of held their own a little more last year, but still, you know, even when Georgia needed to make stops last year, pressure up the middle, winning in the interior of the offensive line in particular, you've got to withstand that pressure and hold up better there, and you've got to be able to run the ball effectively, and that obviously starts up front. And on defense, you've got to continue to slow down Georgia's run game. It was not particularly good last year. This year looking a little bit better, at least so far, but they haven't played an SEC opponent, so you've got to continue to win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and if you can do that consistently against Georgia, you've got a chance.
I think the second key for Tennessee is controlling the Georgia quarterback. We've seen Tennessee struggle with Stetson Bennett. You can even go back to Jake Fromm if you want to, pre-Heupel, pre-COVID, I guess. To talk about that, and then certainly last 2 seasons, Carson Beck has carved them up pretty good as well. And Carson Beck's now at Miami. That's good for Tennessee because even coming off a bad game against Ole Miss, kind of started slow in that game last season in Athens, and I think threw for almost 350 yards, a couple touchdowns. Georgia worked the tight ends over the middle of the field really effectively. And now Tennessee's taking on Gunnar Stockton. This will be his first SEC start. Not too much of a downfield passing game to speak of for Georgia at this point. I think he's only thrown 10 passes over 10 yards downfield to this point. But he's a guy that can run around and make plays, extend plays. I think Tennessee's got to be worried about that. So can Tennessee finally make a Georgia quarterback look mortal, look human? This seems to be a chance to do it with Stockton being a little unproven and maybe a little bit unconvincing in some of his starts. But Tennessee fans will probably think that just makes it more likely he's going to have his coming out party in Neyland Stadium. Right. So Tennessee defense has got to be able to stop that. I think that includes getting Georgia in some third and long situations. You talked about stopping the run. That'll be key. And I think, if you're stopping Georgia's run game, they're not able to use play action with the tight ends as much. So you got to get them in some third and longs. And on those third and longs, you got to have, if you want to blitz, you've got to be careful about when you do it. You got to have somebody that's got the quarterback, maybe a spy, maybe somebody that's, you have to have awareness that he might get out of the pocket and scramble for those first downs in key situations. Third downs are going to be huge in this game to extend drives, control the game, but I think they've got to turn Stockton into a passer. You got to make him beat you with his arm. They might do a lot of stuff perimeter-wise with some of the athletes they got. Zachariah Branch is someone that Tennessee's going to have to tackle in space, but they've got to finally make a Georgia quarterback look mortal if Tennessee's going to win this game.
Georgia fans having questions about Gunnar Stockton based on what they've seen so far. For my third key, I'm going to say Tennessee's wide receivers, that they've got to make some plays down the field. They've done that a little bit in the first couple games. A 73-yard touchdown to Braylon Staley in the opener against Syracuse, a 53-yard touchdown to Mike Matthews last week against East Tennessee State. They've got to continue to do those kinds of things. It is going to be hard to sustain drives against Georgia. You've got to be able to make a short throw, maybe a screen, and a guy be able to make a play. You've got to be able to have guys just create separation consistently, and you've got to be able to get off press coverage, something that Tennessee's receivers have struggled with in the past against Georgia. So didn't push the ball down the field very much last year in that game in Athens. They got off to a good start, but couldn't sustain it in the passing game in particular. I think it's really key that Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley, Chris Brazzell, those guys in particular, have to have a good game for Tennessee to win this game and pull the upset. Maybe not a big upset based on the line. This line has kind of gone down from where it opened on Sunday, but a lot of people still think Tennessee has a shot. If they're going to pull it off, though, got to be pretty effective in the passing game, and Joey Aguilar has some consistently open receivers to throw to.
Yeah, I think Tennessee's longest pass play last season in Athens was 17 yards. Hard to live 8-9 play drives, a lot of third downs against Kirby Smart's defense. We have had plenty of coverage this week here on our YouTube channel and also on the site as well. We'll have our predictions for the game on Friday and plenty of coverage on Saturday from the Neyland Stadium as well. For Ryan Callahan, I'm Patrick Brown with this Go Vols 24/7 No Huddle.